Hello everyone, Denise here. Today I'm going to show you how to make the textured daisy square blanket. So square like a granny, but not granny stitch. So if you are making squares of any size, shape, or form, this could be a good one to add to your collection. You can make it as large as you want. You can use any yarn and any hook. So I am using Serenity Chunky Tweed. This is a yarn I picked up when it was on sale on Premier's website for a sweater, and then I chose not to make the sweater. So I'm making like a lap size blanket with some of it. I have a lot. So with some of it, I'm making like a lap size blanket. But you can, like I said, use any yarn and any hook. The Serenity Chunky Tweed comes in 109 yards, 100 meters, 3.5 ounces, 100 grams. 97% acrylic, 3% viscose. Color on this is Aran. This is a bulky weight 5, so it works up very quickly, very nice. It already covers almost all of my legs and all of my lap, all of the width of my lap and my legs, and it's really nice in the chair. So if you're looking for something to cover up with in your chair or on your couch when your legs are kicked up, this is an excellent blanket, especially the yarn. So this one called for an 8mm or 8mm hook. I used a this is a clover, a more. This is an NP 10mm. I think the stitch works a little better, worked up in the square with a little bigger hook. It seemed like it worked a little better with a little bigger hook. So I'm just showing you this blanket, but I will show you how to make the blanket with the new all-in-one granny square yarn. So let me pull that in. Okay, so as you can see, my yarn is getting depleted. I used it for a couple of different tutorials and the review, which I will link all of them below, and you can check them out. This has a lot of yardage in it, 417 yards. 417 yards, 381 meters. It's 250 grams. It's 8.8 ounces. It is 100% acrylic. It's a medium weight 4. It calls for an I hook, but I am going to use a K because, as I said before, using a little larger hook helps. At least for me anyway. You can do yours as you wish. The color on this one is Aran Soft Sky. So a lot of Red Heart yarns will match this, obviously. I thought it would be nice to just have a bunch of different squares and then bring it all together with a common color. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull from this. I am going to start with what it would be after this, like the caramel color. So let me find the caramel color. Here we go. Right there. Going to cut a bit off. These scissors I purchased on Temu. They're like $2.50. Great deal. Very sharp. So starting with Soft Sky in the all-in-one granny square yarn, which I need to buy more of clearly. Although we're not making a granny square, we're making a square. So it's going to color and pattern similarly to a granny square. I start with a magic ring. So if you don't know how to make a magic ring, it's not that magical. It really isn't. It's simply making a ring with the yarn, okay? Just like you would if you're doing a slip knot. So if I wanted to do a slip knot, I would do exactly what I just showed you and then pull this, and guess what? It's a slip knot. But this is what I do for the magic ring or circle. I crisscross it just like that. Working yarn is back here wrapped around my fingers. And then I take my hook, which is a K hook, Clover Amore K, 6.5mm. Put it in there, scoop up my yarn. And then I rearrange my yarn in my hand just like, you know, how I work with it. And I chain 1 to secure it. Now, as I work in my ring, I'm going to work along this tail so that when I cinch it up, it closes really tight. And once I weave that back and forth into the work, it will not come undone. So if you do not like the magic ring or circle, chain 5 and then slip stitch to your beginning chain. So if you're a total beginner, this is how you would do that. Again, slip knot, wrap it around your fingers, pull the working yarn through. You got a big loop that's adjustable. Put it on your hook, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Take your hook and put it in the first chain that you made. Grab up a loop and pull it through both. You have your ring. And then you would chain 1 and work as I'm going to show you. Working around the ring for round 1, we are going to put 3 single crochets in the ring. So put our hook in the loop, pull up a loop with our hook, yarn over and go through both. That's a single crochet. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Go in the ring or loop, whatever you have, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and go through 2. That's a single crochet. Now we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2. Now we're going to put 3 more single crochets in our ring or loop. Go into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2. 2 more times. I'm going to tighten my circle here a bit. Chain 2 again. Into the ring again. 3 more single crochet. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2 more. I'm going to cinch my circle a little more. 3 more single crochet. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to chain 2. Now looking at your work, you see you already have a square, right? I'm going to pull this shut a bit. Your first single crochet. So you know you made 3, so 1, 2, 3. In your first one, slip stitch into that. Yarn over and pull up and pull through. Now that's when I cinch tight because then I don't have to find a stitch. Okay, so we have our first tiny little square. That is our round 1. Easy as that. At the end of round 1, you should have 12 single crochet and 4 chain 2 spaces. So 3, 6, 9, 12 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4 chain 2 spaces. This is where you will need to get some stitch markers. I suggest 5. So I'm going to grab 5 out of my little stash over here. Okay, so if you have one that is slightly different than your other 4, that will help you know that's where you're starting your round. It's not super important, but it could help you if you're a beginner. So here is where we're going to put our first one, and that would be the different one if you have a different one. I have a larger one, so I'm going to put that in the first stitch here just to show you that is what we're going to do for every round. We're going to mark our first stitch so that we know where our beginning of our round is. That will help you know when you're getting to a round where you need to increase or not increase. It's not super important because when you get to the corners, you will probably be able to tell. But if you just want to know, like I do, where the beginning is, you'll want to mark your first stitch every single round. So starting with this very first stitch right here, right next to the one we're slip stitched into, we're going to put 3 single crochets in that stitch. So, and we don't have to chain one here. We're right next to our stitch. If you want to pull up a little bit, you can. It's really not necessary, and we're going to work in continuous rounds after this one. So 3 single crochets in the stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to put my stitch marker in the middle single crochet. That's the beginning of my round. Every time I come around, when I find my large, obnoxiously large stitch marker, I know that's the beginning of my round. Okay, so now we're going to work in the corner here where we have a chain 2 space. We're not increasing this round. We are going to put 3 single crochets in our corner stitch here. So 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to put a stitch marker in that middle single crochet, and I'm doing that so next round when I come around, I don't have to guess where I need to do my increase. It will be right there in that stitch. We have 3 single crochets in between our corners here. So right here in our middle single crochet, we're going to put 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Don't have to mark that one because it's not a corner. We're over to our corner now. 3 more single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Gonna mark that middle one. Tell myself it is a corner and to not forget to increase next round. Got 3 single crochets right there. 1, 2, and 3. Put 3 in that middle single crochet. 1, 2, 3. We are to another corner. 3 single crochets in that corner. 1, 2, 3. Gonna mark that corner. Put 3 single crochets in that middle single crochet of your cluster there. 1, 2, 3. Onto our last corner, 3 single crochet. 1, 2, 3. Mark your last corner, middle stitch. And now we are to our beginning. So, to know how many stitches you have, you can count each individual stitch or you can count your clusters. So, let me move my camera down a little bit so it's easier for you to see. All right, that should be a little more helpful. So looking at your work, you can see that you have little boop, boop, boop. Each one should be a set of 3. So if you just want to count by 3s, you can do that. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 3, which means you have 24 single crochets at the end of your round 2. We don't have chain 2 spaces at the end of round 2 because we didn't increase round 2. Round 3, we're going to increase. So round 3, we're going to start right away. We're not going to slip stitch or anything. We're just going to start stitching. So starting our round 3 in our marked stitch right here, I'm going to take our marker out. We're going to put 3 single crochets in that stitch. 1, 2, 3. We are going to put our marker back in that middle stitch. Now we're going to go to our next marked stitch because that is the corner, and we're going to increase on that corner this round. On all odd rounds, you will increase. On all even rounds, you will not increase. So I'm removing the stitch marker. And in that stitch, we do 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 3 more single crochet, 1, 2, and 3. Put that stitch marker in our chain 2 space. And move on to our next set of 3. So we have our cluster of 3 right here in the middle. Put 3 single crochet. To a corner now, remove your marker, and we're going to do another increase. 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3. Chain 2, 1, 2, 3 more single crochet, 1, 2, 3. Oop, I have hair in there. 3. Marker goes right back in there. In our next cluster of 3, in the middle stitch, put 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3. Onto the corner, removing the marker. In the corner stitch here, we're going to increase. 1, 2, 3 single crochet, chain 2, 3 more single crochet in that same stitch. Remark that corner. I know it's pretty obvious right now where all the stitches are, but as your blanket gets larger, you will find out that it is harder to tell where your stitches are, and you will be thankful for those stitch markers. Next set of 3, right here, we're going to put 3 single crochet in the middle single crochet. 1, 2, 3. Down to our last corner, removing the stitch marker. In that middle single crochet, we're going to do an increase. 3 single crochets, chain 2, 3 more single crochets. Replacing the stitch marker. Now we're to the beginning of our round. Okay, so you can see, you can count the bumps a little easier this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 times 3 is 36. So you should have 36 single crochets at the end of round 3 and 4 chain 2 spaces. All right, so we're going to move on to round 4. Round 4, we do not increase. Like I said, increase on odd rounds. Do not increase on even rounds. So round 4 is an even round, so we're not increasing. So on each of your single crochet clusters here, you're going to work in the middle of every single one of them, putting 3 single crochet in that middle single crochet stitch. So beginning with the beginning of the round, we're going to take our stitch marker out, put 3 single crochets in that stitch. No need to slip stitch. I will show you what it looks like when you slip stitch on your blanket. It's not terrible, but it's definitely noticeable. Put your stitch marker back in that stitch. Let me grab the blanket really quick and I'll show you what it looks like when you slip stitch. Okay, so as I was designing this, You can see right down here, all the way up to here, I slip stitched, and then I decided that's really not necessary, and I started working just in the round. And you can tell once I stopped doing that, it looks way better to me after I stopped slip stitching, but it's up to you. If you want to slip stitch, go right ahead. I just think it looks way more seamless. It looks seamless when you don't slip stitch. That's why I'm showing you how not to slip stitch. If you want to, go ahead. I just think it's kind of a wasted step. Okay, so we did our first set of 3. Now we need to look at our work because we don't want to miss stitches or a blanket's going to get kind of lopsided and interesting and not in the good way. You always want to make sure when you are doing the round after your increase that you find all of your clusters. So instead of hopping over to the corner here, we do have a set of 3 here, and we need to go into that middle single crochet. So you can see 1, 2, and 3 stitches are made right here. We're going to go into that middle single crochet and put 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now we're to the corner, and since we're on a non-increase round, we are going to just put 3 single crochets in that corner. 1, 2, 3. Replacing our stitch marker in that middle stitch. Now don't miss the next one, because the next one's right here, and it would just be totally normal to work right over here, but nope, we got to pause. Pull your stitches over. You can see 3 right here. So in that middle single crochet, put 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now we can move over to the center of our square and put 3 in the middle single crochet. Again, we're to a corner. We need to find our 3 right there before the corner. In the middle stitch, put 3 single crochet. 1, 2, and 3. Removing our marker, put 3 single crochet in that corner stitch. 1, 2, 3. Replacing that marker in the middle one. Pulling our work over a bit, taking a look at it. In the middle single crochet, put 3 single crochet. 1, 2, 3. Over to the middle again, 3 single crochet in that middle stitch. Looking at the first part of our corner here, in the middle stitch, put 3 single crochet. 1, 2, 3. Working in the corner stitch, 3 single crochet. Move your work over a little bit if you have to. Identify your 3. Put 3 single crochet in that middle stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Do the middle again. 1, 2, 3. Find your 3 to begin here. 3 in your middle stitch. Three in the corner. 1, 2, 3. We have one more set of 3 right after our corner. So 3 single crochet in that last middle single crochet. Now I will lay the work down so you can take a look at it. A little tiny square, and you can count your chain 3 groups. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 groups of 3 gives us 48 single crochets. So now it's really easy because you already learned the blanket. Now you would just repeat round 3 and round 4 until you have the size of square that you want. Now I will leave a general list of sizes below for blankets and lap blankets and baby blankets and all kinds of blankets. I'm going to repeat round 3 and round 4 for the entirety of my blanket here, as you will as well. So just repeat round 3 and round 4. I will show you on camera how to proceed from here. So we just finished a non-increase round. After this, you don't need to count your rounds. You just need to know what round you're on. So if you are on a round like this where your corners are not pronounced, you are on a non-increase round, which means you're on an even round. If you have pointy corners, that means you're on an odd round and you did increase. So I have rounded corners, so that means I'm on an even number. So I need to proceed and do an increase round. So starting with my middle stitch here, I would put 3 in that. Replace my marker in the middle stitch. Find my next set of 3, put 3 in that one. Locating my corner, removing my stitch marker, doing an increase. So that is 3 single crochet, chain 2, 3 single crochet in that same stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Replacing my stitch marker. Next set of 3, put 3 single crochet in that middle stitch. 2, 3. Next one. Next one. Corner stitch, we increase on our odd rounds. So 3 single crochet, chain 2, oops, chain 2, 3 single crochet in that same stitch. 1, 2, 3. Stitch marker back in the corner. 3 in the next. 3 in the next. And in the next. Corner stitch increase. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, 3. Now we would move on to the next round, which is a non-increasing round. And so we would locate every single set of 3 that we have. And we know in the middle single crochet of that set of 3, we're going to put 3 single crochet. So 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, because this is the beginning of our corner. We have 3 at the beginning, we have our corner, and then we have 3 after our corner. So always remember to put 3 in that beginning and end of our corner, as well as the corner. So 3 here, 3 here, and 3 here. And then in each middle single crochet all the way around, put 3 single crochets. Whenever you are done with your blanket, slip stitch into your beginning middle stitch here that you normally would go into and put 3, just slip stitch into that one. Okay, and then you would cut your yarn and weave in your ends. So depending on how you want to end your blanket, this would be the rounded square version. It's still a square, but the corners are not pronounced. On the swatch that we were working, this is a pronounced corner. So you can either have a pronounced corner or a rounded corner. It would be up to you, however you wanted your blanket to end. It doesn't matter what round you end on, either is perfectly fine. It's just your preference on how you like the corners to look. I'm going to pull in my blanket that I was making at the beginning of the month using the textured daisy stitch to show you what the red heart all-in-one granny looks like as you stripe it with other colors. So let me grab that. Okay, so as you can see, it's getting pretty large and hard to get into the picture showing it all, but I started off with the color Aran at the beginning of this one, and then I just sort of went row by row and did the red heart all-in-one granny in the color cream, and then I went back to Aran here, and then I went back to the red heart granny square, and then up here I did Aran. And I also have another color that I think looks pretty decent with this that I may work into this blanket, and it is warm brown. I think that one will look very nice. I feel like it goes with it quite nicely. So I'm just gonna take this one row by row. This is the Paying It Forward Friday in the stitch flat, the textured daisy stitch flat. I'm just going to take it and work in the colors and change colors, whatever row I feel like changing them on, and just extend my stash that I already have further into this project without needing to buy more of the granny square yarn. I think I'm good with the cream color. I have this much left, which is probably over half of it. And this blanket's already getting pretty large, and by using other colors that match the granny square yarn, it really makes the granny square yarn go a lot further. So that's just a tip to you from me. If you want to extend the granny square yarn further, since it's kind of pricey right now, just use what you have in your stash that matches it. Any worsted weight 4 would go well with this yarn. So anyway, I just wanted to bring you an update on that blanket. It's pretty slow going because this is the worsted weight number 4, whereas the Premier Serenity Chunky goes really quick because it's a 5. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. I appreciate you. Until next time, guys, happy makes.